Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to be ranking every Akatsuki member from weakest to strongest. And when I say every Akatsuki member, I mean every single one, not just the originals. But before we start, we need to put some rules in place so the video goes well. First of all, we will rank them at their power level when they were in the Akatsuki. So for example, Sasuke will not have his godly powers during this list. He's gonna be on the list, but it's not gonna be endgame Sasuke that can 1v9 the Akatsuki. Also, we will not consider the Hidden Rain Village random ninjas on this list because frankly we don't have enough information on their strength, and they were the basic nobodies that like when the Akatsuki was formed and didn't have elite ninjas. So even if we consider them, they would just be at the bottom. Also, these are some honorable mentions / members we won't consider. The first one is going to be Juzo Biwa, Itachi's ex-partner. Yes, he's a wonderful ninja. Yes, he had the Zabuza sword before he had it, but we just don't know enough about him to put him on this list. And the other member we're not going to consider is Kabuto, since it's not really clear if he was in the Akatsuki, if he was just an informant, and again, he never joined the Akatsuki. It was just a collaboration between him and Obito. So now that the rules are in place, let's start this list. Starting off with number 16, we have White Zetsu. And yes, I know you might think this is kind of low for him with all the clones he had during the final war, but even with all the clones, his power level was always basic. His main jutsu was imitation, when he could transform into a bunch of shinobis, and the sport jutsu that would drain chakra from his enemies. As an infiltration assassin, he was goated. He was the perfect definition of a ninja, but in the Naruto verse, power level is so important that in a power scaling competition, he doesn't bring much to the table. At number 15, we have Karin. So we start off with the weakest member of Team Taka, since she technically joined the Akatsuki to be with Sasuke. She deserves a spot on this list, a low spot, but still a spot. Don't get me wrong, as a ninja, she's incredibly useful and would always be high up on an utility list, but power-wise, she doesn't offer much. I honestly would consider her as a well-known version of Sakura. At number 14, we have the second part of Zetsu, the Black Zetsu. He might be low on this list, but my boy was a menace. During the last ninja war, he was keeping out against the Mizukage and her team of elite ninjas, and even keeping up with a Naruto clone when he showed up. For me, he's only this low on the list because compared to the other members, he doesn't really have any special traits that lets him show off what he can really do. He's basically a normal ninja with no real special attack. And yes, I know he has wood style, but it's not the Hashirama wood style. It's not the, oh my god, this is the godly style. He has like a cheaper version of that, and it's just a weak version. At number 13, we have Sugetsu. You know, there's a lot of great shinobis on this list if Sugetsu is this low. And yes, we don't see a lot from him, but the fact that he was being selected by Sasuke proves enough how great of a ninja he is. He was selected for his combat skill, the opposite of Karin where she was just useful for healing. This boy was a menace. From a defensive point of view, he is pretty much unkillable since he can just become water. And from an offensive side, we can safely say he's high Jonin. We won't spend too much time on him since he didn't do much as an Akatsuki member, but he really deserves this spot. At number 12, we have Sasori of the Red Sun, and this pick is going to divide the comment section. I already know it. Yes, on one hand, he is the best pop tier user in the Naruto universe, and his spectacular use of poison is extremely impressive. Or is it? For a normal ninja, yes, he would be like a god playing with ants. But for a seasoned Jonin, I don't think his moves would do so much damage, since it's very easy to counter. Of course, you can make the case that he has the puppet of the third San Kage that can use the metal sand style, but it's not as powerful as the real thing. It's still an imitation. And for his final move, the 100 puppets, I have only one thing to say: who cares? Each puppet is worse than a Genin level ninja. Even Sakura had a field day just punching the shit out of them. His main jutsu is the equivalent of the meme saying, how many 4th graders can I take in a fight at once? Honestly, it's really not impressive. That's why he's so low on this list. At number 11, we have the final member of Team Taka, Jugo, the crazy bitch. The original cursed mark. This man needs Sasuke next to him 24/7 so he doesn't go on a rampage. He could easily clear a group of high level Jonin and not even break a sweat. Even as a temporary member, he will destroy Sasori in any fight. He is a powerhouse, but he doesn't have enough diversity to be higher on this list. At number 10, we have Hidan. I really don't get the disrespect that Hidan gets in any power scaling lists. And for me, the only reason he is so low on this list is because he doesn't have any impressive physical attributes. He has one jutsu and he keeps spamming it, kinda like someone else we know. But it is a deadly jutsu, kinda ironic since he's undead. The biggest problem with him is that he only excels only in a 1v1 fight, and in the Naruto universe that doesn't happen often. Like even when he fights against Asuma's team, he was at a big disadvantage and had to have help from Kakuzu to be able to 1v1 Asuma. While his feats are pretty impressive, the fact that he was defeated by Shikamaru makes him one of the weakest members on this list. At number 9 we have Kakuzu. Kakuzu is one of the most tanky members of the Akatsuki. With his stone skin, and even if he was defeated by the lightning style and the Rasen Shuriken, which is a pretty powerful move, it's still a powerful defense. And of course he has 5 hearts. Yes, 5. He's a final boss that won't die and keeps healing back up again and again. One of his biggest feats was being able to fight hand to hand with Kakashi and even surpassing him in taijutsu. You don't understand, Kakashi is a rival of my guy, the most powerful taijutsu user ever, and he even surpassed Kakashi, so that speaks highly of his taijutsu. Of course, him losing easily to a move that Naruto just spams the whole show is not the best thing for his case, but he deserves some respect. At number 8 we have Konan. Konan deserves to be this high on this list, and I don't get people that are shitting on her so badly. She can produce paper blades out of thin air and explosions paper also. Just look at what she did with just a bit of prep time to fight against Obito. Yes, of course we're not gonna give her that luxury every time, so that's why she's not higher, but compared with the other member on this list, the firepower she brings is insane. Also, can we just talk about the fact that she can fly, which is such an underrated ability in Naruto. This is not Dragon Ball Z. Only a few ninjas are able to take flight and actually use it effectively in battle, but after this point only legendary members are on this list, and that's the best she can do. At number 7 we have Deidara. I don't think people realized how much of a menace Deidara was. His basic explosions could be compared to a Jonin jutsu attack, and even his higher ones like the CP3 were stronger than multiple Rasengans. People really need to realize that Deidara actually defeated Gaara in a fight while he was still a Jinchuriki, and he wasn't even trying that hard. But with all this firepower, his only weakness is close combat. But unlike Sasori, Deidara is fast enough to disengage from a jutsu attack and be able to start bombing again. And of course we need to talk about his ultimate move, the big explosion zero. That move would take out almost anyone on this list, but since he won't survive it, we're not gonna consider it in the power scaling. At number 6 we have Orochimaru. This one is gonna confuse a lot of people, and let me be clear, when he was in the Akatsuki he wasn't as strong as at the end of the series, but still he wasn't a legendary Sanin for no reason. Even in his Akatsuki days he was still a powerhouse, being able to use a majority of every jutsu ever created. His experiments made him a dangerous ninja that would be able to go toe to toe with anyone on this list lower than him. Orochimaru is a wild card, and one slip up and it's over for you. The only reason he left the Akatsuki was because he couldn't steal Itachi's eyes, one or maybe the strongest member on this list. At number 5 we have Sasuke. What? Sasuke? There's no way he's this low on the list. Well, if we only take the time he was with the Akatsuki into consideration, I don't think he should be any higher. He retired from the organization after killing Danzo. Even with Itachi's eyes at his peak, I don't think he could stand against the shinobis ahead of him. Fight against B 1v4 them while rapping smack the whole time, only for them to get one tentacle. That's it. The only thing he did right was kill Danzo, which mostly any Akatsuki members could accomplish that. Akatsuki Sasuke was far from being the elite powerhouse we got at the end of the series. At number 4 we have Kisame. The half fish, half man, 100% menace is one of the most powerful shinobis in the verse. Not the Akatsuki, in the verse. He has the biggest chakra reserve in the Akatsuki. He can drain your chakra to a point where it becomes an endurance test. He even bodied Killer B, something Sasuke and his team could not even do. He is literally referred to a tailed beast in the show. The only reason he lost to Might Guy is because he used the physical attack, and even then he lost to, and I quote this, the strongest shinobi ever. The only reason he's not higher on this list is because, like Hidan, he's more of a 1v1 fighter. At number 3 we have Itachi. Going from this point on, I think the difference between number 3 and number 2 is so small that you could change it up and I would not see a problem with it. We all know Itachi was one of the most powerful ninjas in the world. With his Mangekyo Sharingan and Sasuno, not many ninjas would stand a chance in a fight against him. The only problem with him is that he was sick during his last days, and that greatly affected his power ranking stats. It's hard to make an argument putting him higher when he was in that state, but even like that, he put on a show in his last battle with Sasuke, and even if he died, we all know he never gave his 100%. At number 2 we have Pain, the leader of the Akatsuki, has his place well deserved. From making multiple pains to being able to use the Rinnegan, he was able to go 1v1 versus the whole Konoha village and pretty much win. He was stronger than any living Kage at that time and would be able to beat any Jinchuriki except Naruto with not much of a challenge. The reason why Pain is over Itachi is because of his diversity. Not a lot of shinobis are this much of a powerhouse and can also divide and take over a whole village. Honestly, even one of the 6 Pains could beat most Akatsuki members on this list. And at number 1, of course, we have Obito. With one of the most broken abilities in the whole show, that is Kamui, even pre-Rinnegan Obito might deserve this spot on this list. But since that at the end of the war, he was still the last Akatsuki member alive, we're counting his god form as his peak. So I don't even have to say how broken that is, but sadly even that form could not escape the most broken jutsu in the whole show, the Takno Jutsu invented by the great 7th Hokage. And with that, it concludes our ranking of the Akatsuki members from weakest to strongest. Let me know in the comments if you agree with this list, what would you change, leave a comment, subscribe, and see you next time.